It looks more and more like there will be a statewide ballot question in Massachusetts this November on the future of charter school growth here. Earlier today, the Sabis International Charter School in Springfield hosted a forum on public education. We sat down with Dr. Sonia Pope, principal of the Holyoke Community Charter School, also a Sabis school, to discuss her view that charter schools play an important role offering more choice and opportunity in any community where they operate.
Charter is not a new concept. It has been alive for 20 years now. We have about 6,000 charter schools across the nation with about 2 million students in charter schools enrolled. And I am the principal of the Holyoke Community Charter School, which has been alive for 10 years now, being a dream for many parents in our community who were seeking out for another option, another choice for their kids. And so Holyoke did that, came in and provided a different option with the Sabis educational systems. We have 702 students enrolled in our school, and it's a K-8, like you very well said. And we are seeking out, and we've been kind of fighting the politics around to increase the grade spans of our school and make it a full K-12. So that we are able to finish the product, send them to college, track them, and ensure that we are bringing back productive citizens to our community to continue to do the good things.
And I know the charter school folks like to say they're about giving parents in a community more options.
Yes, absolutely. I think that every parent should know that the charter school, like you very well said, is a public school and that they have options. I think that every school is very unique in what they provide, and parents should be able to shop around and see what will best fit the needs of their kids.
Let me ask you, and you hear these arguments all the time. We hear them from folks who say, problem with charter schools as far as we're concerned is, one, it takes the educational dollar and spreads it that much thinner, and that as involved parents work hard to sign up, get their kids in the lottery, hopefully get them in the charter school, it takes a lot of good kids out. That makes the test scores in the regular public schools go down. The public schools look worse. They get hurt even more. They have a lower percentage of the families that are involved. That having a charter school ends up hurting resources and other things that the public schools need. I know the charter school folks don't accept that or agree with that.
Right. We don't agree because the monies follow the students. Charter school is not the only institution bringing kids out of the traditional schools. It's school of choice, and the kids will go to another district, and the monies will follow that particular kid as well for whatever choice the parents make. So charter school is another school of choice. It's another place that parents can say, I want my kids to go, and obviously the monies will follow the student. It's very unfortunate that we are using that as a convenient excuse. I think that the other piece that the community should know is that the traditional schools get 100% of the monies for that particular child in the first year and then get 25% for the next 6 years. So they're receiving funding, and we are educating the child as well. So we should be basing this on the education that we provide in the children. The monies are important to all of us because we have to operate as an educational institution. But if the money belongs to the kid should receive that allotment for their education.
Full disclosure, I should tell our viewers at home that, in fact, although it had nothing to do with this segment being arranged or scheduled, my son, in fact, is a member of the faculty at Dr. Pope's school. Let's go on, though, from there. Let me ask you, do you find, in fact, that opposite of what folks sometimes think about charter schools, drawing off the good kids, the interested, ready to work hard, study kids, that in fact often maybe you get kids parents are worried about, kids who may need some extra help, may have a difficulty, if we even want to say it that way. So actually, you may in some cases face an even greater challenge, perhaps, than the public school.
Absolutely. And, you know, the charter schools have to abide by what we call lottery enrollment policies. And in the lottery is whoever applies. People that apply are people that, yes, will be very interested in coming to Holyoke Community Charter School. Parents who do not feel that they are well served in the local districts where they are enrolled, you have everybody applying for that particular spot. And so the mystery question out there, do charter schools serve ELL students and special ed students? Are their kids better than the other kids? It's not such thing as who is better than who. We are serving all the population. We are serving ELL, special ed, general ed, and our students are performing well because I think that the autonomy that we have in charter schools allow us to be more children-centered, and we are able to do more student services.
A community conversation on education reform, 2016. I know you're going to have a couple of the local state legislators, Senator Welch, Senator Lesser, scheduled to be there to talk with parents about what charter schools offer. And of course, there may well be, it appears, a vote this fall on whether or not to allow more charter schools, expansion of the charter school idea here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. What is this Monday evening event all about?
The main objective for this event is to continue to educate the community and to talk to parents about their options and not to be afraid to use the options that they have at hand. Cap lifting is one of the big elements that we are discussing as well, and it affects me in Holyoke, for example. 702 students is what I can serve. That's what I have been serving since 2006. So it is time for us to have a cap lift that will help us to continue to serve Holyoke and to help the other Holyoke schools. We are there as partners, and we want to continue to do that by increasing the number of seats and be able to complete the dream of a full K-12 program.
You talk about the cap lift. Right now, the state really very closely controls where and when a charter school can begin, if that's even the right way to put it. I know there's talk of allowing 12 more a year under some of the state legislation. There are other proposals that tie to more money for the local schools. It really is a very complicated process we're going through now, isn't it?
It sure is, and I'm hoping that our policymakers, especially those who are surrounding our Holyoke, Chicopee, and Springfield areas, will take that into consideration. Holyoke is in major need to increase that cap lift, and I know that as a good partner that I have been for 30 years in the district, I think that I can make the difference, and I think that we should deserve the opportunity to increase that cap so that we can move to a K-12 and continue to do the right thing, have the children as a number one priority.
You and your organization say you believe supporting charter schools means strengthened school districts all around.
Absolutely, and I think that we do a lot of dissemination projects that we share with the community, such as Springfield, Chicopee, Greenfield, Amherst, Northampton, Holyoke. We do many things that we like to share with the other district. We want to be part of a good education. I think that good education is important to me as an educator, it's important to the parents, it's important to the entire country. So we should continue to work together, and that's what we're striving to do.
Well, Dr. Sonia Pope, principal at Holyoke Community Charter School, thanks for your time.
Thank you.